Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another podcast episode. I know this is a little weird. We usually have an intro format, and today we don't because I actually have something to say. When me and Alex were last recording, unfortunately, we weren't able to record first half of the podcast of this video. I don't know what happened to my recording software. However, it kind of just ditched the first half but kept the second half, which doesn't mean a lot, to be fair, since we just talk about a lot of BS in the beginning and then we get to the main subject towards the end. However, to be fair, we still have a good chunk of what we were mainly talking about. So here is the episode. As always, if you liked this content and want to keep helping me and supporting me and whatnot, please hit that like button, hit the bell, hit subscribe if you really enjoyed it. And yeah, that's all. Thank you.
So much growing up, or like sneaking it under my pillow when I was supposed to go to bed, that type of stuff. Jeez. Even now, thinking about it, I want to play it. It's great. Or even now, as I'm talking and I'm recording this on my laptop, I have a randomized emulator on my laptop, and I do it randomized because it adds a bit more fun to it. And the randomized version I have is specifically patched to fix the XP curve. That was a big thing with Soul Silver. I should go into for a moment that the game is technically two games in one almost, where you're able to go once you beat Johto, you're able to go back to Kanto and then defeat all the gyms and then eventually challenge Red. But at that point, Red's like level 80, 90, and then you're fighting wild Pokemon that are level 12. Because those don't have any level scaling for some reason. It's weird. So it fixed the level scaling of the trainers and just makes things a bit more manageable. But that was easily my favorite Pokemon game. My next favorite games are Black and White and Black and White 2. I'd say uh, Gen
Yeah, you
5 is
talk
like, oh
high
yeah,
praise of Black and Black and White too.
they're so fun.
But a lot of
I,
people, I feel like, in the Pokemon scene fucking talk about Black and White too
yeah,
so high.
it is praised well as it should be. Black and White 2, as a sequel to Black and White, are how a sequel should be done. It picks up the story literally 2 years after and just perfectly goes through everything. And Black and White, or I'll just say Gen 5. Gen 5 was my favorite, or one of my favorites, just because of the sheer personality and everything. There was effort put into every single system, from the metal system with over like 500 unique metals that you could collect. Uh, the
Mm.
way the Elite Four was designed, the way the Elite Four evolved from those 2 years to actually have Iris be the champion was very interesting. Where you meet the old champion in the beginning of the game and it continues the story from there. You get to go to the ruins of End's castle. There's um everything with like the link system, the dream system, whatever dream radar that was.
The
Uh
dreams. Whoa, hold
yeah,
on.
there's like the it's crazy. There were a specific way to catch Landorus, Thundurus, and Tornadus. They had Therian forms, I believe you called them, and they're essentially unique forms of those Pokemon that you could only catch through the Pokemon Dream Radar.
Mm-hmm.
And it's of course it required the Wi-Fi services, I believe, but and now
Oh
it's been
no.
since shut down. Uh, there was the passerby system and the I don't remember. Was it just like it was some like mall thing that your character could create and that you could also engage in? It's so I could spend all day listing the unique aspects of the game, and I would not be done. But to go back again, the personality stuff was so interesting because every single Pokemon had unique animations.
Mm-hmm.
It had and it just like they were moving around, they were interacting with things.
It was like
Like
Soul
they
Silver
showed the
and
status
Heart
effect.
Gold, of like when they could move around by themselves, right? Like
In
outside.
They can't, not in Black and White. They can't, not in Gen 5.
Oh
I wish
no.
they could.
But I
In
mean, like in the
That's
way of like like your Pokemon's quote unquote personality, or like
Yes,
you
yes,
having your
yes.
Pokemon out. Yeah.
hmm That's I guess that's also another reason why I love Soul Silver so much was that your Pokemon did follow you. And it
Yeah.
was the cutest little thing. I just like even now I'm like, oh, I care so much about these pixels on my screen. My little creature's happy with me.
Oh yeah,
It's
because you could also
it's so
ask like,
fun.
how's it feeling? You know, like sometimes it'd be like,
Yeah.
it's
And
hungry.
they would yeah, it was like, oh, it's hungry, it's tired. It like literally like a Tamagotchi thing. And it would give you items if it felt good. And actually, not a lot of people may know about this, but uh since there's metal systems in the game and unique things, um that your Pokemon can collect or be named after. Once you beat the game, if you go to specific tiles in the game and interact with your Pokemon, you can collect the leaves, like gold leaves. And if you bring them to Lyra, or I think his name's Ethan, they're essentially the opposite character that you chose back in your hometown. They'll weave a special gold crown for your Pokemon, and it gets added to your Pokemon's stats. Not stats,
Oh.
like character card, I guess you could say. I don't
Mm-hmm.
remember if it gave a unique title in game or not, but it was just another unique thing to collect. It was, oh, jeez, it truly was like my childhood experience, and because of how much I love that game, like I used to get everything like to level 100s. I used to do all the events in person too. Like when you went to the mall, you went to GameStop, they would
Wait,
give you the
really?
special event. Yeah, they would
Oh
give you a
shit, I
special.
never
Yeah,
knew that, actually.
yeah. Yeah, I used to ask, like, of course, whenever like my mom or my dad were free, whenever I'm like, "Hey, can we go to the mall? I want to get the special pixel color thing." They're like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." So, especially for Black and White too, where I would go, they would do like the event exclusives, like was it like Meloetta, I believe, or the original trio like Raikou, Entei, and Suicune, except they were shiny.
Mm-hmm.
Garantina, Palkia, Dialga, what have you, whatever
Yeah.
event they were hosting. And that I didn't go to them a lot, but when I did, it was truly it was a wonderful experience. Even though I was a little kid and I didn't know what any of it meant, I was just ooh shiny strong Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
It's
that
crazy,
was wonderful.
dude. It's crazy how that shit is only a time capsule verbally and not like a physical time capsule. Like there's nothing that besides like either having those Pokemon or yeah, like having those Pokemon or anything like that like on a save file if you still do, right? Um there's like nothing that like is saved for that. You know, because nowadays it's like if you want an event or whatever, you have like a fucking battle pass or like DLC. You know, no one's going out and like
Mm,
doing
yeah.
stuff for the game. Like literally, ironically, the only game now that does that shit is Pokemon Go. And that was the last game that I could
Ooh,
think that like makes people like actually go out and get a Pokemon or like a certain something. Well, you know, because when was Pokemon Go's hype or height even? Like 20 was that
uh,
2012 or 2016?
mm,
Some
I
range
want to
in
say
between there?
2016, 2018, around there.
Like people were fucking hype about getting a fucking Charizard, dude.
Yeah.
And people be like, I found it. And like there were videos of like Matt Pat, if I'm not mistaken, or like a bunch of YouTubers going out and like actually like getting these Pokemon for this Pokemon game. And
Dude, I
now,
used to watch people go to different countries, man, to get
yeah,
them because there were exclusive ones.
there were multiple apps made for people who couldn't, as well as like move around and whatnot to get like certain things.
And all the devices and attachments for the phone that would walk your eggs without you actually having to go
Were there
outside. And
actual
I remember,
attachments for
yes,
that?
and there was also a like a little cradle thing that people made that you would spin it and then it would cause your phone to move because of the location. The other one was a attachment for the screen of your phone or a special case that would let you throw an excellent throw all the time.
Wow. Oh yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah, it's dude, the hype was nuts. And unfortunately now they're doing a bit of they're leaning more into the monetization of
Hmm.
the game rather than the actual enjoyment.
They're doing a bit
For
of
example, during
rebranding,
a
whatever that
little bit,
means.
Do you remember? So, some IRL lore, quote unquote, is when I stayed with you over the summer, that park is right next to a Pokemon gym. I could defend the gym from the bedroom, which is my favorite part.
I think
And
I
because it
remember
was
you
the height,
saying that. Yeah.
yeah, it was the height of the pandemic, and because of that, normally, not Niantic, excuse me, they did Pokemon Go Fest, which is where they would gather everybody in a specific area, and they would just host raids, prizes, whatever have you, and it was a big event. And they're all in all different major cities across the world. The thing is, because it was the pandemic and there was that safety issue, they did it online. So instead of like, I think it last GoFest was like $20 or $25, maybe even more, and it didn't give you a lot. But the one during the pandemic, they gave you like remote raid passes, which was a nice mechanic they introduced, so you could
Mm-hmm.
join raids anywhere you want. It it was fun in the beginning, and then, as I said, unfortunately, they've leaned into the monetization, and I don't play it anymore. Pokemon Go is just my Pokemon machine in the sense that I use Pokemon Home to transfer my stuff to newer games. Or like, I want a shiny version of this, I'm gonna transfer it over.
How does that work as well? If that isn't like a whole like huge thing, but how does that?
It's pretty simple. You download Pokemon Home on your phone and on your console. And then of course you link your Nintendo accounts, and then you go into Pokemon Go, and it essentially becomes like a link transporter, the way in the older games how it was, where you would use like two DSs, and it
Hmm.
just sends them over, and it puts them in a box in Pokemon Home on your console, and then you go into your console Pokemon Home and you take them out into the game and deposit them in your PC. That's it. It's very simple.
Oh, okay.
It's yeah, and the reason I last time I did it was because I used to really when they used to have community day from 11 to 5 local time. Now it's just 2 to 4 or 5. They cut it down in half for some reason, which I'm also upset about. Community day gave you like just spawn this one Pokemon throughout the whole day, and how Pokemon Go and Pokemon Let's Go, EV Let's Go Pikachu, which I do also like, is how it worked is the more Pokemon you catch in a row, the higher chance you would get at a shiny. So once you catch like 30, 40 in a row, you have like the highest odds of getting shinies. And Community Day was really where you could get like 10, 15 shinies of the same Pokemon. I have a whole line of the shiny Eevees, and then I transferred over from Pokemon Go to Pokemon Home and then Scarlet and Violet, the newest games, so I could
Mm-hmm.
get my shiny Sylveon.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
it is interesting. It's fun though. Let's Go, I'll say. I have Let's Go Eevee, and it's the cutest thing. I love it. It's just a remake of the original games, of course, in 3D and with the Pokemon Go mechanics. So you don't really battle wild Pokemon, you just catch them, and then you battle trainers. It's very fun, and it's because it only limits you to the Gen 1 Pokemon. I actually use some Pokemon I've never used before, like Nidoking and Nidoqueen. You can't take
Mm-hmm.
Eevee off your team, I don't believe, but it's. I also chose Bulbasaur.
Of
It's
course.
yeah, it's the little boy, the
Little ball
little
boy.
onion. So cute. It's they're fun, but for every good thing that comes out of Pokemon lately, it seems that there's something unfortunate. And the unfortunate is usually Nintendo not putting in maybe as much effort as they used to for the older games. Definitely because they know that as big as the franchise is, no matter how good or bad the game is, people are going to buy it. It's a conversation I've had with Schwartz before, since he grew up on the older series as well, but his interest faded over time. He was recently brought back into the hobby through the trading cards. Since the
Mm-hmm.
trading cards are getting really good,
Yeah.
I collect the cards as well. I think I mentioned it in my card binder. I have about 80%, I think, of the Neo Genesis set, which is the first set for Gen 2 in 1998 or 2000.
Yeah, guys. I say Alex is a fan. He's a fucking fan, dude.
Yeah, I have a good portion of the 25th anniversary collection as well. I have the Venusaur,
Don't you
Blastoise, and
have?
Charizard.
Yeah, I was just. Oh my
Yeah, I
god,
pulled
dude!
two.
And you
Dude,
pulled two Charizards, right? Or two
I
Bulbasaurs, or
pulled
two.
I pulled in one tin at Walgreens. I remember because I was with you. I pulled a Charizard. At the time, it was like $150, and I also pulled the gold Mew. That was like $70, I think. I don't know how
Holy
much they're
fuck!
worth now. Actually, let me actually check. I'm curious. Hold on.
7,000.
20. Can you imagine, dude? The older cards, like, but no matter how much I love the series, there is always somebody who loves it more and is willing to spend $100,000 on a shiny card.
Oh yeah, I
Like
bet.
it's like PSA cards. It's nuts. Pokemon Charizard. Let me see. It's around $70 for a Charizard. Let's see. And then Mew. It's very interesting though. I do love all the cards, especially the newer cards where they're actually giving you more cards per pack. It's nice. And the Mew is about like 25, $30. So
Mm-hmm.
there's still some worth there, but it's not really about how much money I can make back. It's about me collecting the cards. And unfortunately, over time, that the hobbies become more of people just looking to make a profit, not looking to collect.
Yeah, because we're also
It's
talking about
definitely
like
died down.
because we're also talking about like Alex used to like collect Pokemon cards as well, but that was because you used to play the actual game, like the
Yeah,
actual
a
physical card
while
game,
ago, like when Gen 5 just released.
and that was so interesting. I mean I could never, to be honest. I say I could never like play a card game and strategize, and yet I play two card games and strategize by myself. But like those are online. It doesn't count. It doesn't count ever. It doesn't count at all. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, there was also talking about Pokemon though in childhood, but there was also that other fucking Pokemon game on the Wii. The two fucking Pokemon games. I'm trying to remember their
Pokepark.
names. Poke Park.
Dude, Pokepark was
Always, I
another
like.
part of
I'm
my
not even gonna lie.
yes.
I'm not even gonna lie. You were playing that game as much as I was playing like Punch Out. I think
I
because every
was.
time I'd
I
come
was.
over, or yeah, every time I'd come over, it was the first thing that was still in your fucking Wii. Always
I need to find a way to play that again. That was
emulate, dude.
I, I don't know. You think my laptop could handle it?
I
I'm
don't
not
know. I
sure.
don't know if your laptop could handle it. That's the only thing. Like the whole reason why I had to get a Wii because I would have 100% already done videos for Punch Out and as well as for Strikers. The reason why I had to get a Wii U was because um even my PC now, like emulating those games, certain points in time, it would lag the game. The game couldn't run
Mhm.
at like a certain FPS. The frames, it would get choppy. It would like the audio would also lag as well. For Punch Out, it didn't really matter that much. I know it mattered because it would happen only with star
Is that
punches
Bald Bull?
and bald bull. Like I fuck bald bull and his bald
Your game
shiny
gave
ass
you
fucking
slow
bully
mo for
ball
free.
head. But like, dude, yeah, for those two instances, and for strikers, it was always the striker shots,
Mhm.
those power shots that like the captains would do. It would get so choppy, and I just couldn't. So like, I don't know, especially since Poke Park 1 and 2 are. We're not talking about like a 2D platform game or whatever, or we're not talking about like an old 3D, game like Luigi's Mansion where like, some things are glitchy, but you can kind of pass by and be like, yeah, whatever, it's just the game. You know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I I mean, because emulating like as well as Pokemon games are completely different than trying to emulate like a GameCube game
Yeah.
or a Wii game for that matter. Like holy shit, you know.
Would you ever recommend, maybe I'll throw this out there, like getting a Wii that has things unlocked, quote unquote?
Oh, like a cracked Wii?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to, you can. There was a time ago where I was thinking about getting a cracked Wii. It depends on how much money you have and how much you want to spend, because those
Mm.
Wii's can like range from like $100 to all the way up to 500, depending on how much memory is going to be on it, how many games are also going to be on it. Because those cracked Wii's, they're going to have those games like pre-installed,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And then not only that, sometimes you need a Wii to buy to then send in, so then they can do that for you, right?
Really? Mm.
Yeah, like some of those places they don't have like the Wii. They have the programming or they have the, whatever. Sometimes, but sometimes they don't and they need like a physical Wii if you're trying to like, hack it, whatever. I mean, it's not like fucking Nintendo secret police are going to come down and like snap your neck for doing it, but
If you don't hear from me for the next podcast, you know what happened.
no, I'm just going to there's probably a new Warframe update. He's okay.
You joke. The update was
There's a
not
new
yesterday. It was
update
the
that
dev
came out
stream.
yesterday, yeah.
The dude. The new wizard. The new character's just a wizard. Shadow Wizard Money Gang.
That's hype.
Before I can talk about Warframe for another looks at watch that isn't there. 18 hours.
Oh my god. I really want to talk about Mario and Luigi's Bowser's Inside Story so bad.
Didn't we used to like trade that game back and forth, or was that one that we each had?
No, it really was like at one point in time. There's also another game I really want you to talk about, actually, Loki, and that would be fucking not to go on a huge tangent, Sonic Unleashed.
Oh yes.
The Sonic
Yeah.
game that some people would say should not have met the light of day, but it did.
Mm,
And
yeah.
do you want to talk
So
about it? Because I
yeah,
yap a lot. Come on.
I do. So I never knew this. I thought it was just released on the Wii. It was also on
Oh
Xbox.
yeah, no, it's on. No, dude,
And
Xbox, PS3 as well.
yeah, the thing is, because it was on those consoles, it was almost a completely different game on those consoles. I just
Yeah,
played on the Wii. When I was looking up gameplay tutorials and things, I saw people going to hub worlds, collecting items, exploring, and I'm like, how do I do this? Where is that? It wasn't in the Wii version. The Wii version was just point, go into mission, leave.
oh yeah, dude.
So I thought that I would love to play go back and play the Xbox or the PlayStation version, the older versions.
Dude, I think
It was fun.
Sonic is and was the only like Nintendo-esque property that has ever been on multiple platforms. Because I believe Sonic Generation is on. Yeah, Sonic Generation is on the Xbox. Sonic 06 is. I remember my friend being like, "I'm going to get you Sonic 06 for the Xbox 360 always. If you throw it out, I will have another one." And that was also on the PS3. My other friend had that, and I remember just looking at it like, "What the fuck?" Um, yeah, just like I don't. It's crazy. It's crazy how Sega is able to get away with that, and Nintendo's just like, man, whatever. You know, Unleashed. That was also something else. I could never get into Sonic games, but I think that was also because, a lot of them were kind of shit growing up. Like, to be honest, for me anyway. I mean, yeah, I don't think there is really a good Sonic game that really came out when I was growing up, not like after it, because a lot of people do say, what's that? There's a new revamped Sonic Mania. A lot of people are like, it's really good. It's like the old Sonic games. No. You know. Oop, Alex.
Ah, my thing. I had some quick issues, technical difficulties.
No,
Stand
it's
by.
okay.
It. I will say, despite how much or I don't know if Unleashed is now considered like a classic Sonic game or not. I have no idea
To a
because it's
certain
not really
point,
like
I'd say.
I really I couldn't get into Sonic either. That was really the only Sonic game that I played and that I enjoyed. And I'd still go back and play it today. Like it was just fun. And like all the upgrades and stuff, replaying older levels. I wasn't a fan of the I guess regular Sonic gameplay, quote unquote, like
Oh, the
the
go
day missions. I
fast.
like the yeah, that wasn't really my thing. That was like funny enough too fast for me. Because I just like exploring things and not running through things quick. I like the night missions. Like and just fighting all these unique bosses. Like after this I don't know if you've seen some of the bosses, but I remember these gorgeous night creatures like this phoenix and everything. It was wonderful. And then the final boss fight, I guess spoilers, I don't know if you've played or finished the game.
No.
Uh that little creature, Chip that you call him because he likes chocolate chips on ice cream when you find him because he's just hungry. He is Gaia, and he controls this temple thing at the end of the game and helps you push back the darkness essentially by sacrificing himself.
Oh.
It's he had no memory of who he was or what he was doing. In the excuse me, in the beginning of the game when you find him, where he crash lands on you.
Oh
But
yeah, that's right.
it was so nice. It was great. It was a really fun experience, and I did definitely get to like Chip. And this might also bring back memories, but there was a Sonic Halloween special, I believe, with like ghosts, where uh Sonic and Chip were exploring this haunted mansion. And because it was night, Sonic turned into his werewolf form and ended up scaring the ghosts. It was I know Steph and Tammy would know what we're talking about because you know them
Un-
and Werewolf Sonic.
unfortunately, I don't know. Like literally, when it comes to back in the day Sonic games, the only one I really remember is Sonic Rings. Because Sonic Rings had a kick-ass fucking intro song, and as well as had
Yeah.
a kick-ass intro animatic or animation to it,
Mhm.
where he has the fucking ring and like the fire in his chest or whatnot. I believe that's also an ass game, if I'm not mistaken. However, now there's a meme of like the ending where like Sonic is sitting on the throne and he's just like, one, you didn't do whatever, two, and it's like he's talking to the genie and the
Yeah.
genie's like, ah.
Was it the other Sonic game that I thought was interesting that I never played was Night of the Wind. Was that what it's called or something? Where
What?
everyone's like all medieval with like weapons and stuff. That was I just thought the character
No,
designs were cool.
that's Sonic and the Black
No, Night of the
Knight.
Wind's the song. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was just
There's a
interesting.
whole Game Grumps meme of like Aaron trying to like fight like the dragon at the end and he just fucking can't. He just can't. He doesn't know like how and whatnot. And like if you go into the comments of the video, it's everyone trying to help Aaron like beat it and like trying to tell him like how to beat it. It's fucking hilarious. Okay. Should we talk about it? Should we talk about it?
He who shall not be named.
Should we talk about the game that, you know, I've been dreading this entire
Mm,
time?
yeah, sure, I guess.
Alrighty. So, Mario Sports Mix is no. We won't talk about Mario Sports Mix. Although that
What do
is
you
part
mean
of our childhood.
Dodgeball Simulator? That's my
Dodgeball
favorite
Simulator,
Mario
that's it.
game.
I want to really make a episode. I really want to make a video about why Mario Sports Mix is actually like kind of the Mario Sport game that no one wanted nor needed. You know, like Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, I think is the like one of the Mario Sports games where like no one asked for, but like everyone found fun. But I think it's just how would you say people remembering how many Mario games, sport games that are like actually fun, and lumping in Sports Mix, thinking it's also fun because of childhood shit and nostalgia, and then when you play it again, realizing that it's fucking boring as shit, dude. um, That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. If you have your opinions about fucking sports mix, bite me. I don't give a shit. It's an ass game. It's an ass game. It's fucking only dodgeball and a little bit of basketball is okay. And that's it.
Yeah, I just wish it was better because I do remember having fun with dodgeball. But as we were playing it recently, we were just like, dude, I love Dodgeball Simulator. It's just the same thing over and over again, and that's it.
No, let's talk about the real Mario game. Let's talk about Mario and Luigi's Bowser's Inside Story. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because
that's on you because I've never actually played it. I've seen your gameplay, but that's really about it.
What? Shut up.
I'm being serious. I've never played it.
Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story?
Oh, I thought you said Luigi's Mansion.
No, not Luigi's Mansion.
I'm sorry.
No. Luigi's Mansion is only a childhood thing for me because I watched Chugga Conroy play it. But like
Chugga Conroy just like sent me back a spiral. Wow. Okay. Wow.
Dude, Chugga. Dude, I go back to Chugga even now, dude. His current stuff
is he still uploading videos?
Oh yeah, dude, he's been still uploading videos. I don't even think he's stopped. Like currently, right now, if I'm not mistaken, he's either finding a new game to do. He just finished, I think, Sword and Shield. If I'm not mistaken, he finished a Pokemon game.
What shall not be named? Anyway.
Okay. But Chugga. Okay. Brief history of actually why I love Luigi's Mansion because of Chugga Conroy. Because it was Luigi's Mansion and Pikmin 2 that like got me into watching the gaming side of YouTube. Because of Chugga Conroy. I watched all of his Pikmin 1 stuff after that and realized how boring Pikmin 1 is versus Pikmin 2. And Luigi's Mansion, he already did like the whole series of both of them. I remember late night waking up being scared in my sister's room in our old house. And like just being like, oh my God, because she had the family laptop in there, being like, oh my God, and I put my headphones into the computer and to like calm myself down, I was like, what can I watch? And I watched Pikmin, I watched Pikmin 2. I watched Luigi's Mansion of Chugga Conroy. And like, I was able to not have a night terror that night and like actually go to sleep without, having to like wait for the light of the sun to come out and so I could feel nice and go to sleep. No, we are here trying to talk about Mario and Luigi's Bowser's Inside Story. Not even trying to, because me and Alex, we've played this game so many fucking times and we'll do it fucking again. I have the game on my 3DS.
Right after. I have my DS right now. No, I'm kidding.
I will play it right now. I don't even know how you would do that for how would you record? I really want to know how you would record like a 3DS or a DS, like because I really actually do not know. But
like capture card or something. That's
but
what
like, how does that like connect? And is there an adapter?
I think like isn't there like a slot or something? Like maybe it
like an SD thing.
I used to. Man. Okay, hold on. Small tangent of who we used to watch growing up. I used to watch Maryland growing up. He was a Pokemon YouTuber. And that's how I remember watching him, from when he was just pointing a camera at his DS and then eventually getting a capture card to play the games. And like Soul Silver, he did like was that a heart lock or something where your Pokemon were like together, like they needed to, the ones that you caught right after, and then if one of them died, the other one was sad. It was so upsetting.
Oh, like a soul lock almost, but like with yourself.
Yes. He was an amazing person growing up, and I don't think he's uploading videos anymore, but I digress. Capture card is the answer.
Okay, I never knew that, but I just don't know like what you would use for it. Besides the point, Bowser's Inside Story.
Peak, yes.
Peak, I think. Peak adventure game? Maybe. Definitely peak when it came to the RPG style Mario games. Partners in Time has a little bit of like drag to it towards the end of the game. I haven't played the Superstar Saga, is what it's called, for the Mario and Luigi series, which is the first game. And I haven't played any. literally, I came into the series playing Peak, and now it's kind of sad because like I'm just sitting here like, fuck, damn it, I wish I didn't just play Peak. Bowser's Inside Story is the reason actually why I love Bowser and Luigi as characters, because the game itself revolves around, well, Mario and Luigi and Bowser and fucking Starry or whatever the fuck her name is. And you kind of see like how not only like the Mario Bros like kind of collectively like deal with problems and whatnot, but we also get to see more about Bowser and like how he sees the whole world and like how he deals with like a bunch of shit. You know, we can actually see that Bowser actually gives a shit about like his guys. You know, they aren't just like expendable, as I was explaining with King DDD before, during like Sad Boy hours. But no, like Bowser actually cares about them. He cares about his units. You know, he cares about his castle. He cares about like he's kind of
the art himself.
Yeah, what you kind of realize is in the beginning of the game, they definitely make him like the antagonist, or seem like he's going to be the antagonist, right? Even though it's called Bowser's Inside Story. But what you kind of realize is he becomes more of a rival, funny enough, as the game goes on. Because then you have to get like this huge thing called the Star Cure, and you have to get like different parts of it. And like literally you fight Bowser again for the second time actually, and he's even harder. And you fight him with Mario and Luigi. And he finds out more about the Star Cure thing, and he goes and he tries to find one, and like, yeah, you beat him, and yeah, he's like up and whatnot, and he could fight you, but he's running because he's like, I'm gonna get it first. And it's like the best shit ever, even though like half of the chase is like he goes to it and then he either eats it or it's already inside of him, or you already have the other part of the Star Cure. The game itself, the gameplay is fun. I personally love all the items that are in the game, especially the little Easter egg to the past game, Partners in Time. The Dimension Door, if I'm not mistaken, it's literally called that, which is also like the best skill to use for Mario and Luigi. Probably the best skill in the game, besides Broggy, Bowser's ability, which is the best ability in the game for him. I don't know. I mean, I played the game so many times. I can talk about the story being so good, but Alex is actually 100% the game in the sense of like doing like the extra fights that you can do.
The everything.
The everything.
I remember grinding out that all the mini games, all the extra bosses and everything, and collecting everything. That's my thing. I'm like an achievement hunter, a collector at heart. And whatever that area was where you could rematch all the bosses, that like I think Bowser's Inside Story, I think that specific area, because that's where I spent my most time. Just going through there and like trying to run through the bosses the same way I ran through Arena and Kirby. That was also another thing I loved doing.
Dude, yeah.
That was so fun. And like
Yeah.
I didn't like fully succeed in Kirby, but it was fun.
well, I did Arena, but there's the other hard part of Arena. Because there's
Arena 2.
because there's Arena, and then there's like Arena Nightmare, which is like you fight the harder versions of like every single boss. You know, like DDD the second time, but even harder.
And
like
the bosses of Milky Way Wishes, I believe. Are there
yeah,
as well.
but harder.
The totem bosses were awful. Oh, oh, excuse me, I'm gonna flashback.
You fight Galactonite as Kirby, which, I mean, is a challenge because Galactic Knight is really made for fucking Meta Knight. Right? Like I stated before, that whole fight is a dream for Kirby, but it's real for Meta Knight. You know?
Mhm.
It's some crazy fucking shit. But you also have the PAL hero, or from it's not called From Zero to Hero. It's like From PAL to Hero or whatever, where you're like the sidekicks.
Mhm.
You know. But yeah, like I only played like a portion of that, of what Alex is talking about, and it's fucking hard. Like, you only get so many heals, you only get so many items that you can use, like only so many amount of times that you can use, and you only get so many turns as well. Like, you only get like sometimes it's like beat this boss in 10 turns, and it's like how like how am I supposed to do that without like the proper equipment, you know?
Listen, Bowser's Inside Story, final boss. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so whenever I'm playing a Mario stage in Smash Brothers, the final boss music, which is called the Final Battle, if I'm not mistaken, look it up. I also, as well as there is a remix version of it, so good. I've sent it to you, Alex, like a long ass time ago. If you ever want to go back into these messages and find it, I could probably find it as well. It's so good. The battle itself is so good. It is in the game. There are boss battles, or there are battles where like Mario, Luigi, and Bowser like interact like in tandem, or somewhat in tandem. But this is like the one battle that it has to happen. You know, like there are some battles where it's just like, you know, it could have. There's some boss battles where it's like, yeah, it does, but it's only for this portion. It's very easy. But no, this is like, you need to suck up Fawful. You need to fight the Dark Bowser, so that Fawful comes out. You need to suck him in. You need Mario and Luigi to be on top.
Spam the button fast enough.
You gotta. I didn't know this, but so X and Y were both like the spam for like sucking up stuff, right? Mm-hmm. If you just hit one button, it's hard. If you hit two, the game thinks you're registering both at the same time, and so it makes it 10 times easier.
I'm gonna go back and do the boss fight again.
Like there's like there's nothing, like, I'm serious. When I figured that out as a kid, I was like, dude, like sucking up Fawful, sucking up anything is so easy. I don't know how I didn't fucking figure this shit out. The game, the game is one of the few games that integrated both the top screen and the bottom screen of the DS. And I'm sorry, if I said the only game, like one of the few games that truly did integrate, like that you had to play with both the top and the bottom. You had to figure out, like, you had to pay attention to both, and not only pay attention to both, but like the bottom screen wasn't just used for like one thing or like one mini game or like whatever. That was what really annoyed me with Partners in Time. Partners in Time, it very much was like they saw the DS as more of like the Game Boy, like in the old game, where there isn't, I believe there literally isn't anything besides one minigame where like the touch screen is used for anything. Meanwhile, we go to Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, and Bowser's on the top screen, Mario and Luigi are on the bottom screen, you know? And it's not only that, but like if you want to interact with Mario and Luigi, you can either hit one of the buttons that integrate Mario and Luigi, or you can press the bottom screen, right? Of course you can use items and whatnot, but the funny thing is, even though you have Mario and Luigi like on the bottom screen, all of their skills and attacks don't use the touch screen, but Bowser's do. All of Bowser's skills do. Even when and to go a step further, when Bowser is in critical condition and he needs to grow big, right? That whole segment that you're fighting when he's huge is only touchscreen. Even leveling up is only touchscreen. You can't do anything to get out of it. It uses the mic as well, like for that entire thing. There's only one part for Mario and Luigi in that game where like the mic is used, and it's used for like basically a meme and an extra quote unquote power up that the bros can use. Which is very much like, oh my god, okay. Like the one part of the game where I'm like, really? You saved it for this fucking shit? Okay. I don't know.
I used to remember being stuck on the carrot part. That's all I can remember.
Oh, where you have to like tap the carrot in the...
Yeah, I was just a little silly kid who didn't know what the bright light meant, so I just started spam tapping everything.
To be fair, that was one way of doing it. Because then you can get like the
correct
one
way,
mega
but it was
thing.
a way.
What? I'm sorry?
Yeah. It wasn't the right way, but it was the way. A way.
No, same as a little kid. And I was like, man, like, why can't I figure it out? You know? Like, I can only get it when it's blue and it doesn't really do anything. Excuse me. But yeah, like, everything in that game, like, it kind of makes me feel like Sanji in a way in One Piece, where the game developers, when they made Bowser's Inside Story, they used every part of the game system. Every part. They didn't second guess themselves. They didn't waste anything. They tried and use every single part of the DS. Probably no, they even used the bumpers on the DS. Or on the DSi, or whatever you were playing Bowser's Inside Story with. Every single part of the DS was used. It kind of feels like when people talk about Metal Gear Solid, there is a part in the game where it literally wants you to put down your controller so that you can use like the touchpad, if I'm not mistaken. Like there are no games that that immerse you in a way like that anymore, right? Besides like computer games, like look at fucking Undertale and look at Deltarune with like adding you, the player, in the game. I always talk about this one shot. It uses the name of the person who owns the computer whenever you go into the computer in the game to talk specifically to you, the player, the one who's controlling Nico, the main character, and specifically says that you and Nico are two different things, and that you're just giving him guidance in where to go, and that he knows everything about himself. He is his own being, and you're your own being too. It's creepy, it's scary how it does it, but it really sets the tone of the game. You know, like there aren't games that are like that anymore. And I think it really stopped with the Wii and the Wiimote and the sensor bar, or the two candles if like you didn't have a sensor bar. But yeah, it really did stop because like, well, games nowadays are more about like the first person shooter and less about like the Dance Revolution. You know what I mean? There isn't like any more interactive stuff, and I wish there really was, but I mean, people like to sit down and do stuff instead of doing stuff and then sitting down after it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hell, like fucking PlayStation and Xbox try to recreate the sensor bar in their own fucking way because the Wii did it so right so well. And now we have the Steam Deck trying to do the same thing that the fucking Switch is. You know?
Yeah, I don't know if like the Steam. I haven't heard much about it, I'll be honest with you. I
The
heard it when it was released, and everyone's like small PC, and that's really
Well, now it's like small PC and emulator because funny enough, guess what was put onto Steam?
Dolphin.
Dolphin. And that can be on the Steam Deck, so you can play Luigi's Mansion on the road, on the go. You know, the Steam Deck is a fucking huge thing, right? Because like it's made for PC games. And PC games are, well, they're not easy to make,
A lot.
and they're also not easy to run. Not all of them anyway. They take a minute. They take a lot. They take a lot of power. So like you need something that isn't a fucking frisbee disc of thickness, you know? Or we don't have anything that is like a frisbee disc of thickness that can that is able to produce the scaling and the quality that someone would want on like a regular like 420 hertz monitor.
You're just saying words.
I mean,
I don't
hey,
know
that's what a podcast is, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm like listening to all this PC logo and just like nodding my head, like, laptop.
What I'm saying is just that you can't have like, for you to process a game like, let's go in the past, Black Ops 3. You can't have a flimsy piece of hardware, right, to run it, because it's gonna take a lot to run that game, you know, aka the Switch, which is why people like the Steam Deck, which is why it's called like the emulator plus plus, because it can emulate any game you want. It is a PC in your hands, because it just has that processing power. But because it does, it's a thick fucking brick of a shithouse of a thing. It could be a bludgeoning weapon. Edgeworth, do you have the updated autopsy report? Yes, sir. It looks like he was hit in the back of the head with a Steam Deck.
How much, oh, is there a Steam Deck OLED now? Oh, there's two?
Is it
Bro,
actually called OLED? What
yes.
does OLED mean?
Uh,
Oh, is it, wait, OLED?
optic, yeah,
What does the O mean?
optical? I don't, optimize, I don't know, hold on, let me look it up.
Optimized LED.
Uh, what is, organic light emitting diode?
Organic?
Technology, a technology that uses LEDs to produce light by organic molecules,
What?
whatever that means.
What?
Yeah, organic light emitting diode.
So I guess compared to other LEDs, it's brighter, and you can have like a backlit screen even better and whatnot, because it's like OLEDs.
Yeah,
Huh.
let's see. Yeah, I'm just looking at some Steam Deck stuff right now, and it's minimum is $400 for the LCD version, but then it's 550 and then 650.
But are those like different
They have different
memory
stats.
sizes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. It's the fact that like it's 550 for like a basically a PC in your hand. And to be fair, 550 is not that bad, especially for, well, people who can't pay like $1,000+ for a decent PC that can run maybe like a high-end game that they like let's say Apex or Warframe even. Or something along the lines, right?
I'm gonna get it and make it another Warframe machine.
But like it does go to show that like if you do have a PC and you're thinking about getting an OLED for some godforsaken reason, spend that money on a fucking VR set if you haven't yet. Because like VR is getting like crazy. No more crazy wires and shit. You know. But that's whatever. I think we've been going along long enough. You think?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
I think we got our points across that old Nintendo games were wonderful.
Oh
And
yeah.
Kirby, Pokemon, Mario.
Like
We'll throw a Sonic game in there, in quotes. Just sneak it under the rug.
I think like I'm not even gonna lie, like for that era, literally 2008 all the way to 2016, 20 like 15, something like that, like when the Wii U came out, or when the Wii U started to really die off, like Nintendo had a vice grip on like everyone. On everyone, on every community. It was hard to look down on Nintendo because you were always looking up to it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it didn't have the internet that everyone wanted, but those games that were coming out or that already came out, and like the system itself, you know, because thinking about it now, like the Wii was pretty portable by itself. It's not a big fucking system. Even now, it's small with the stand and whatever. It's all smaller than the fucking Wii U that I have. The only thing is, its hardware wasn't as good as it was, but during that whole time, no matter who you talk to, someone had some sort of fucking Nintendo device. And now, it's kind of the fucking same thing. It's just that instead of having a DS or a DSi or a Wii or whatever, it's now like, do you have a Switch? And most people can say, yeah, they
people
do.
Even if
Yeah.
it's whatever version of Switch it is, everyone has it because it has something maybe for everyone, or it's just so popular, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I didn't really want to make the conversation about like why, like before the whole conversation was going to be about like what do we think Nintendo is going down and whatnot, because that's a whole different conversation, right? And it's going to be a conversation that we'll either have next time or a different time, because it really is like, I'm kind of scared. You know, I'm kind of scared for their ideas or what they're going to do or try to do. And, you know, all I could really do now is just sit and watch. And that's also the scary part, is because I can't really do anything, you know? And I wish I really could. I wish I could go to like Nintendo and be like, hey man, Mario Strikers Battle League, it was a fucking flop and you guys should fucking do something about it. In my opinion. But if you ever played Strikers Charged, I think you're gonna feel the same. Okay. You want to lead us out the outro, or?
I'd say you can leave it out because I forgot what floor we're on. I'm distracted by the
I
plushies.
believe
I'm sorry. This one's a Triceratops.
I believe
Come on.
857, I think, or some shit like that. Anyways, my name has been BKJ. It's always been that, or Benny, or Big Benny, or whatever the fuck you want to call me. I'm here. I'm on YouTube. Fucking check out my videos and whatnot. Like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want. I do Punch Out every day. Whatever. I live and breathe Punch Out. Alex?
Yep. I'm Alex, co-host as always, and I am currently more distracted by plushies than I should be. It's always nice to talk about Pokemon and everything. I love Pokemon, Warframe, Apex, all that fun stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, that's us. See ya.